Hey everyone, it's Gary Anderson here. How y'all doing? I hope you had a good week. Welcome to Gary E. Sketch Cards number 24, where I am drawing the second of two monster-themed sketch cards for Halloween for October. And last week I did the Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's creature, Frankenstein's monster from the Universal film, and this week I am doing Bela Legosi as Count Dracula from the same series. And I guess here we go. So much like the Frankenstein's monster that I did last week, this version of Dracula is sort of the universally recognized characterization of Count Dracula. If you see anybody with the slicked back hair and the dark red lips and the outfit and the intense eyes, you know immediately that you're supposed to be Count Dracula. And even though the character has been reimagined over the years in other different films and things like that, this one still has a recognition factor about it that pretty much everybody knows about. And again, this is about 80 years. The film is like 80 plus years old, so says something for the timelessness of this particular character. Dracula was also the film that put the actor Bela Legosi into the spotlight and got him his big break. He went on to become an international superstar because of that film, starring in a bunch of different movies and that, but he was always remembered as Count Dracula from this movie. Even though at one point I believe he played Van Helsing, the vampire killer, in one of the later Universal films, and I believe he even played Dr. Frankenstein or the creature in a later production of Frankenstein. Sort of a, he sort of got pigeonholed into that whole horror genre, which I believe left him a little bitter and sort of disillusioned with Hollywood, and later on he was cast in maybe his second most famous role, which would be in Plan 9 from Outer Space. And if you've seen the film Ed Wood, you kind of know the story behind that, where he was very reclusive and again very disenchanted, but decided to do this film to sort of regalvanize his career and make him a star again. And while it didn't really happen, he eventually was cast in the second film that, again, has a cult following, but for a few different reasons, I guess. So, here he is Bela Legosi. So, again, much like the Frankenstein movie from last week, I have not watched Dracula in its entirety. That's 0 for 2 as far as having fully watched these movies, but as of this recording I have 5 of the Universal movies on order and should be getting them in very soon, and hopefully I can watch the movie before next week for whatever character I'm going to do next week, because I don't know yet. I'm trying to decide between a couple of them, and I'd like to watch the movie first and at least have kind of a working knowledge of the story and the background and all that. So I apologize for not doing my homework, but I think the image came out okay. The sketch card came out pretty cool. So again, I apologize for that. And I will say this: I did have a lot of exposure to the Universal monsters as a child. In elementary school, we would take these sort of weekly trips to the library, and part of the book collection had books on all the Universal monsters. Again, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, the Mummy. And I remember specifically wanting to find all of at least one of these books every week. Not so much to read it, but to look at the pictures and just to kind of have it with me. I don't know specifically why that is, but it was sort of a Linus's blanket kind of thing. If I had one of the monsters books with me for the week, I was fine, and I don't know why. I don't, but I remember looking at the pictures, and I don't remember reading it. A lot of the text, I'm assuming it's a lot about the story and the history of each monster, but they're so it's been around a while, and I've been exposed to it for quite a long time. I guess I just never watched the films in their entirety. So for the art lesson this week, I sort of wanted to talk about drawing eyes. Eyes are probably one of the more challenging details to put onto a face, and what you want to do is avoid the entire circle within a football thing. If you ask most people to draw an eye, they will draw just that, a football with a circle inside it. And it's a lot more complex than that. If you look at the eyeballs or the eyes, I should say, on this sketch card, you'll see that there's a lot of, yes, there are circles there, but there's a lot of lines sort of representing the upper and lower eyelids. There are lines, age lines and stuff outside of the eye, on either side of the eye itself. There's a little bit of shading. I try to darken the upper eyelids a little bit to sort of give the impression of eyelashes and that kind of thing. If you search in YouTube how to draw a realistic eye, you'll get a few hundred hits. Todd McFarlane did a great one if you're looking for just a quick little video, and he pretty much touches on everything I've talked about in a little bit more detail. There are a few others. I believe Sycra has one, and I'll put a link down in the show notes below. But just when you're drawing an eye, make sure you get them proportionally correct. Make sure that they're not too close together, not too far apart, and one not too far above the other, and they're not circles and footballs. So that's Bela Legosi. That's the sketch card for this week. I will see you next week. Take care. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time. Remember, your art is awesome. Always strive to do your best, and always strive to improve constantly. Never stop learning. Take care. See you next week.